Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ServiceDesk Plus Masterclass Session 4. Today, we are going to take a look at how you can take your service desk and extend it beyond IT with the help of the Enterprise Service Management, the ESM feature available in the cloud version. Right. This presentation will be a very short presentation. We're going to cover up the features that will be available with the ESM and the benefits of the ESM, the Enterprise Service Management feature. Right. Um, my name is Ram. To introduce, and I'm from the product support team for ServiceDesk Plus application, and I'll be the presenter for the day. Um, all right, to start off, right, I just wanted to give a quick overview on why you need what is the use of the enterprise service management feature and how it could be beneficial, right? Let's start off by comparing an IT team and a non-IT team in your organization, right? And IT teams will usually be well equipped with a service desk tool for managing their requests in the application, right? So a they will have a service desk tool which will be able to help them in tracking down their requests. They will be able to manage or automate their workflows in the application, and they will have the ability to define service level agreements for the service request types and for different service request types, and even have the ability to do reporting, right? To find out how they are performing and where they need to improve, etc. Right? But whereas if you take the non-IT teams case, it is not the same. Right? They will also be receiving requests through multiple channels like email, phone call, chat, or even in person. Right? But with an outdated support process like that, right? Teams will actually start to face problems, right? And they because resolving their request is going to be a tedious task because they wouldn't know when what mode the request came in, how to check with the end user. There is going to be multiple tracks of it, and this is going to result in a subpar service delivery, and they will end up with having very unhappy end users. All right. If you look at it in a way, service management is not just applicable for IT, right? It is also applicable for the other departments like finance, HR, travel, legal, facilities, etc. Right? Like they do handle requests, they do provide services to the end users in an organization. Like for example, if you take facilities, right, replacing a broken chair is one of the cases that they take up, and human resources do employee onboarding, so that itself is a major service request that needs to be processed, and providing the pay slips by the finance teams, and setting up travel accommodations for people who travel from the organization. So these departments have their own type of services that they need to provide, right? So that they need to deliver to your end users. But what is it that actually differentiates you and the rest of the departments, right? The IT and the other departments is, as I said, the IT teams will always have a tool which is going to support the latest ITIL standards, and whereas if you check, there are no specific standards or guidelines or frameworks for handling non-IT requests, right? And IT teams will also make use of or have best practices in place for them to handle their requests efficiently, right? And they will also have the service desk tool which is going to help them in automating workflows, and they will be able to define the life cycle of a request or a change, which is usually not done by the non-IT teams. And most importantly, they will actually have a self-service portal from where users can actually raise a request, right? And users will be able to track requests in the application. And the self-service portal will also have a knowledge base built in, with which they will be able to find out the solutions by themselves before actually coming to the IT team, and before actually raising a request for that. And then IT teams will also have various support channels implemented, right? Requests can be submitted via email, chat, and phone call, which can be converted as requests seamlessly. And the most important that I thought about earlier is reporting capability, right? So they will now be able to see how compliant they are in terms of handling their requests, and how efficiently a technician is performing, based on which they know where they lag, and where they will know how where to improve the service delivery for their organization, right? And there is always going to be a new technology that is going to emerge in the field, and the IT teams are going to take it up, and effectively deliver services. But again, non-IT teams gonna be are not going to be the same kind of end, right? But if we are able to unify that experience and provide the same capability for other departments as well, right? And service delivery is going to be much more efficiently done within your organization, right? So we thought of all this, and that is where we come up with the idea to provide a enterprise service desk, where one organization is going to purchase one portal. I mean, it's going to have one single portal, in this case the Service Desk Plus on demand, and under that they can input, or they can build all their instances, right? So one, they can have different instances for different kinds of services that they do or that they provide across their organization, right? By doing this, end users will get a consistent experience across all the service teams. They will have a central portal from where they can raise requests and track their issues. The ITIL standards are not just going to be part of the IT best practices, and it can also be extended to the other non-IT teams in your organization as well, and you can also seamlessly provide services with a single tool across your enterprise, right? So that is the enterprise service management, and those are the benefits of going with the enterprise service management feature in the cloud version of ServiceDesk Plus, right? With that, I just want to quickly show you a demo of the ESM feature, and on what are the how effective, how easy it is for you to make use of the ESM to deploy services across your organization, right? And if you have been using this application earlier, like if you have an organization admin privilege, right, you would have seen this blue indicator on the top right. So that is the ESM console, right? The Enterprise Service Directory console, which will now act like a control panel, right? A centralized control panel where you can configure the details of your organization. So imagine a tree structure, okay? This ESM directory is the top tree. All right, this is where you define your company details, your company logo in the application, and this is where you also get to define your users who are going to access the application or access the service desk to create their requests in the application, right? And from this control panel, you will also be able to reset passwords for your end users who are accessing the application through the Zoho credentials, right? You will be able to reset passwords for them, and if you are using a multi-language edition of the application, you will also be able to set language for your end user. So earlier, it was end user's choice. I mean, end user has to go ahead and set it up in their instance, right? So I don't think that would be convenient, because when you deliver the service, you would want them to have it in their language for ease of convenience, right? And you could have that predefined for them. You could also predefine what kind of a time zone they are at as well. If you know that, you can bulk edit these settings for your users in your organization, right? And so you I think you get the picture now. So ESM is your organization. Under that, now you have defined your users in the application. Now you get to define your service desk instances, right? If I go there under the service desk instance tab, you will be able to create an instance, right? So for now, as you can see, I have two instances of the service desk available, right? So I can now define which user access which instance in the application, right? So the ESM is the tree. Under that, the instances become the branches to which users will be able to access and create requests, right? Before I go ahead and show you how you can create an instance, so let me just associate users. Let's just quickly create an instance, right? So new instance, and I'm going to call this as a facilities a desk, right? Since I already have a instance for my HR, I'm going to call it facilities desk, and I'm going to give the URL as FL desk and facilities. So we have built-in types, right? Currently, we support three types for HR, IT, and the facilities desk, which comes up with certain amount of pre-customization, which I will quickly show that as well. All right, and I'm going to mark myself as the owner for this instance. All right, and you could, this is where you define who has the ability to access this particular instance. Does should everyone in part of the users list have access to it, or you're going to pick the users who needs to have access, right? You will be able to specify that, and you can create an instance. So once you click on create, the instance will get set up shortly. Just it'll take a moment, and you will have the instance ready. And that's it. See, your instance is now ready. So that is how easy it is for you to create an instance for the facilities desk if they need it. And you for now you the person who is creating the admin will be the technician, the admin technician for that particular instance. And you could now configure who needs to have access, who are all the users, who are all the technicians, and then you could go ahead and further help them up in configuring the mail server settings, the templates. And we have made some pre-built customization, as I told you, in terms of the facilities desk. So we have added certain categories in terms of the facilities desk. So you have your building maintenance and the electrical stuff. You have them as predefined categories, and you could also build your own categories under it, or remove them to have them completely new. And we also have created certain templates as part of a pre-built customization show, so that you can quickly deploy your services across the facilities desk, right? So we have some facilities related templates readily available for you to use as well in the application, right? So that is how easy it is to create a service desk instance in the application and deploy it to the respective teams in your organization, right? And when an end user logs in to the application, he will be presented with this ESM landing page, right? So in this particular landing page, users will be able to search for requests or templates across all these three instances. They can also mark the instance that is default, to which they have to be automatically logged in the application. And also additionally, this page is customizable as per your preference, right? As an administrator, you have some ability to customize it, the ESM homepage, with some coding, right? So you can customize it under the ESM portal ESM portal tab, and under customer and a customized organization portal, you will be able to customize the instance as per your preference with the help of some HTML codes in the application. And if you need any specific customization, like any specific help in regards to this, you could also let us know, like you adding your logo or marking any kind of a page within here. So you could let us know, and we will be glad to assist you further on it. And one important thing or one important question that usually comes up is you have different instances. Is the URL going to change? Right? No, the URL is still going to remain as the subdomain that you use or the custom domain that you're going to configure. Right? So if you have been using the URL as itdesk dot or servicedesk dot yourdomain.com, it is still going to remain the same. But when you access a particular instance, the prefix, I'm sorry, the suffix alone will change as you have given it over here. So let's just quickly access the facilities desk to quickly show you the URL change that will happen, so you would have a better understanding. So as you can see, the URL is this, and then it just says FL desk, which basically points to the facilities desk instance within your organization, right? So now we have customized the URL. Customized the ESM portal, customized the service desk instances, and in order to assign users to an instance, you go to the users tab, and you can check the user box who you want to add, and click on add users to instance, and you can associate them directly to the facilities desk instance from the application. So this is where you define the user permissions as well in the application. And the SAML authentication. So earlier the AD settings were within the service desk tool. Now, as I said, the description itself changes, right? So this is the head of the application. So this is the top tree. So this is where you configure your SAML authentication. If you're going to use Active Directory authentication, or if you're going to use an Azure integration for users to log in or users to single sign on to the ServiceDesk Plus application, this is where you make those customizations. You can configure them right here. You can also verify your email domain. So whenever you add users to the instance, right, whenever you add users to the instance, they don't get any invitation emails, and an email account gets, I'm sorry, an Zoho account gets created immediately for those users in the application, right? So that is the ESM feature, the enterprise service management, and that is how easy it is to deploy a service desk out to a non-IT department in your organization. So with that, I just want to quickly do a summary of the features that we saw. So as I said, it's a single enterprise directory, a centralized control panel to maintain your users, your service desk instances, your authentications in one single space. And you can create separate service desk instances for each of your business functions in your organization, and facilitate an organized service delivery with code free customization. So all the customizations that you do are basically an UI driven, right? It's just single clicks, and then you have the customizations ready, and you can now help your non-IT teams in automating the services with the help of workflows, and building a with building with aspects of the business life cycle. And as I showed you, you have built-in catalogs and templates to accelerate service management adoption across all the departments with the help of predefined templates and the service catalogs catering to each business unit. And reiterate, one single portal for your end users. So your end users are going to have a seamless experience in raising requests and tracking their requests by just using one single portal instead of having to jump between emails and phone calls, etc. right? So that's a quick summary. And so, as I said, you will be able to create and deploy a service desk instance in just under 60 seconds. And most importantly, each instance follows its own licensing plan. Right? Let's say IT team needs an enterprise desk, but that might not be the case in terms of a facilities desk or a HR desk. They would simply need a professional edition or a standard edition, right? So you have the flexibility to choose between different editions of Service Desk. So go ahead, spearhead ESM into your organization and let them know they can have a Service Desk instance started in just under 60 seconds. So we will also be sharing the presentation, so you could download it. This will also help you as a resource to help you along the way in setting up the ESM or any kind of queries or clarifications that you need. You could also very well reach out to us and we will be glad to assist you further. All right, once again, thank you so much for joining the presentation today, and hope you found this useful, and hope to see you in the next one as well. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.